All right, we lost our connection on that, but hopefully we'll be all right now. So, all right, we're here at Knockout Boxing Club, 16th Street and Grant here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's right near the airport. Got a lot of kids that come work out here. There's a lot of history in this short time gym that's been here at this location, I think, for a few years. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk with Andy Soto, the guy who owns it, along with his wife, Salem Urbina, who is actually in Mexico training for the Olympics for Rio coming up in 2016. So let's go over here and we'll talk to Andy for a minute. All right, Andy, we are live on Periscope. We're on at Ringside's Boxing Briefs. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the history of Knockout Boxing Club.
Okay.
So go ahead and tell us about it.
Well, Knockout Boxing Club has been around since 2000, and we started in a facility over on East Phoenix, over on 32nd Street in Washington, and from there we just we've kept moving around, and we've been developing kids ever since. We've developed about 20 national champions in my tenure of coaching, and been doing it ever since.
Excellent. Now, you're also a coach with USA Boxing, and you've been literally all around the world. Can you tell us a little bit about that, too?
Yeah, I've been blessed with being able to help out with USA Boxing. I just recently, in the last 3 months, I went out to 3 different countries, also with AIBA, working as a cutman for AIBA as well. I've been going out to, I was in Toronto for the Pan Am Games, and I was in... After that, I went to Bulgaria for the European Championships. Then I went to Thailand, to Bangkok, Thailand for the Asian Championships. And just recently came back from Qatar as head coach for the World's team.
Wow, so that's quite an impressive resume. Now, you're also married to Salem Urbina, who's, in case you folks don't know, she's a female fighter. She fights for Mexico, but she's going to compete for the Olympics in 2016 in Rio for Mexico, and she could possibly be, if she qualifies and wins, would be the first woman, as I understand it, to win a gold medal in boxing for Mexico. So that's kind of impressive. But she's also your wife, so let's talk a little bit about her too, and everything that goes on, behind the scenes, and you training her and coaching her, and how she got started and all that.
Well, she got started about 7 years ago, 8 years ago. She came to me really wanting to be able to compete. She used to train before, but she felt like she wasn't getting the proper training or whatever. So she really came to me really wanting to train hard and really wanting to compete and become competitive. She always had a dream of becoming a world champion, and on the way to being a world champion, she also wanted to become an Olympian. So we started to buckle down, and we really started focusing on her technique and everything. And she won her first national championship in Mexico in 2009, represented Mexico in 2010. Then she went on a little bit of a hiatus from Mexico for a couple years because of residency and stuff like that, working on her immigration paperwork. And she went back in 2013, won the national championship in 2013, and she's been competing all over the country ever since, representing Mexico.
Excellent. Now, this is a great gym. You got a great wife. She's a great fighter and everything. It's kind of bittersweet also because Salem's brother Alexis Urbina, and you were his coach, tragically lost his life in 2013. And this guy, I watched this kid from the amateur, growing up as an amateur, and he just kept growing. You were coaching him. He won the Nationals in Spokane in 2013, and later would tragically lose his life later that same year in 2013. Can we talk a little bit about that? I hate to bring it up, but I just want everyone to know.
It's all right. We could talk about it. It hurts a lot, but talking about it always makes it feel better. For a couple years before that, I really started to see him develop really, very strongly. Really, his skills started coming around, and his power was coming around, and we were really aiming for 2013, as far as beginning the whole Olympic cycle for him. He was in the gym training alongside Carlos Castro at the time, and doing a lot of sparring with Abel Ramos at the time, and Juanito Garcia at the time, so he was getting some real quality work. And he really started to blossom during the State Golden Gloves in 2013, and that's where he really proved to me that he was able to do it. Then when we went to Spokane, he ended up winning the whole thing, fought 3 days in a row, won the whole tournament, and ended up being on the USA team ever since. I mean, you know, he had probably been the first kid out of Arizona to win the USA Nationals in 10 years prior, you know, since BJ Flores and Ernie Gonzalez, and you know, those are good footsteps to follow, you know. And he had already started representing USA after that, and you know, tragically it all came to an end in September.
It was definitely a sad story, but you know, through his legacy, he's going to live on through here. Let's take a look at this poster. I know when you're seeing this, it's going to show up backwards, but you know, to me, I'm trying to use the good side of my camera for video purposes. But you get the general idea. This kid was just an all-around great kid, man. He went to school, he studied, he was at the gym here every day. You know, it's just tragic, but his legacy will live on through all these fighters and through his sister and through Andy. And just, you know, Andy's well respected in amateur boxing at USA Boxing. He's doing a lot of coaching, helping a lot of these kids come along. But this is the gym right here. Anyways, Andy, let's go take a look around. Let's go take a look at some of these kids while they're training here and see who we got here.
Okay.
So who do we have here, right here?
Here we have Carlos Velasquez. He's going to start fighting at 132 pounds. He's growing pretty fast. His speed, his skill level's really starting to improve a lot. So, you know, I'm seeing some good things from him. Next to him, we have Sergio Rodriguez. He's a strong fighter, up-and-comer. You know, he doesn't have enough experience to really do anything just yet, but he's coming along really well.
It looks pretty solid on the ropes, I can tell you that.
Yeah. They all work pretty hard.
Yeah. All right. Now this guy here, man. I'll tell you what. I like to call him Alexis Urbina, his twin, man. This is solid right here. Who we got here?
This is Ulises Urbina. That's the baby of the family. Coming along very nicely. He's got 9 amateur fights already. He's only lost 1 of the 9. So I mean, he's developing very nicely.
Man, solid. I'll tell you what. He reminds me so much of Alexis. It's almost scary.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Hopefully, we're going to see this kid in the ring pretty soon and really see him blossom into you know, just a natural born fighter. But they got a lot of kids that come work out here. So, and then who do we got over here?
We have, this is Jorge Merino. He's another heavier fighter that I have, getting ready for Gene Lewis. He's got about 7 amateur fights as well. He'll probably be going in as a novice fighter.
Excellent. Now the Gene Lewis tournament's coming up this month, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and who do we have here?
This is Karim Cuevas. I've had him since he was 6 years old. He's been around forever. He's got probably about 30 amateur fights, 35 amateur fights. He's developing nicely as well.
Excellent. Now I'm gonna pan through because I want to get this other one here in a few minutes. But who do we have here?
This is Alicia Martinez. She's a sister of Gabriel Quijada and Mariah Martinez. She's the middle one. She's coming along really nice. She's got 3 fights. She just won her first fight actually week and a half ago. Actually, she did really nice.
Excellent. So it's like the whole family fights then, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now I know I've seen this little kid. I love watching him in the ring. He's a solid little scrapper, man. I mean, he's a I don't know. It's just impressive to watch him fight. Who do we got here?
This is Andrew Corona. He's developing into a really nice little boxer right here. He's got about 8 to 10 amateur fights, and doing really well.
Yeah, you're gonna have to remember his name, because I'll tell you what, all these kids in here are, you know, all of them come in here and train after school. They still have homework. They still do it all, but they come down here and train. All right, who do we got here?
This is Gabriel Quijada. He's the oldest of the Martinez family. And when he came to me, you know, he didn't have too much experience. And, you know, he really works hard and really trains his butt off. And he tries to be one of the first ones here all the time.
Excellent. That shows a lot of dedication. All right, and then who do we have down here working out in the mirrors here?
This is Marcos Mendiaz. Everybody should know who this guy is. He's been around forever. You know, he fights at 147 pounds, even though right now he's a super heavyweight. You know, he's been out of the gym for a while, but he's coming back. You know, he had to tend to some family issues and stuff like that, but, you know, keep him on your radar. He'll be around pretty soon.
Definitely, man. I'm definitely going to do that. And I'll tell you what, a lot of these kids, what people don't understand is a lot of these kids, it's a struggle for them to even get down here to even do this. So when you look at it from that perspective, what a young kid has to do to get down here and deal with school and everything, and they're giving up all their pretty much their free time because they do this every day, and then there's so many tournaments coming up that they're constantly in. It's something that you just can't do. You can't just put it down for a week or two and then come back in. It's something that requires a lot of dedication, but these same things that Coach Andy teaches them carries them on through life too, so they're well disciplined. All right, we're going to get to definitely one of my little favorites, man. I'll tell you what, I saw her fight last year at Jean Lewis, and she had like a little entourage going, and I did some video of it, but she already looks the part. This kid, well, Andy, tell us about her.
This is Mariah Martinez. She's the youngest one of the Martinez family. I think everybody knows who she is. She needs no explanation. She trains really hard. She's undefeated right now as an amateur. Getting ready for Jean Lewis. You know, she's a spark plug, man. This girl, she's always one of the first and one of the last to leave the gym every day.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure to watch her fight too, because I can't wait till this year's tournament because watching her fight, it's amazing. It's just the dedication with all these kids. But this gym is a good size. How many square feet you got here?
6,400.
So it's pretty good. It's a really good sized gym. A lot of times, just right where I'm standing, there's another gym that's usually here. But you know, there's the main ring right there. Plenty of room. It's got the classic feel of a boxing gym. Big facility. Andy takes pays for all this himself. You know, it's very expensive to keep something like this going. I mean, I don't want to say how much it is. I know he told me once, but it's a lot. And you know, there's a lot of other things that he could be doing with the money. You know, vacationing off in the Bahamas with little drinks with umbrellas and in there and everything. But he chooses to do this. He gives up his own time. Plus, on top of that, goes on USA boxing trips around the world to coach some of these kids and work as an official or whatever they have him doing. But at the same time, it has its rewards because Andy's become, you know, very well known nationwide. He's a great coach. If you want to really break down a fight, you know, Andy has good inside vision of fighter and can usually pick it out pretty quickly. So he's, you know, with Alexis, he pretty much already had his champion right there and everything, and it was tragically taken away. But I'll tell you what, some of these other kids here are going to definitely step up and fill the void in this little quiet little gym here right by the airport. But anyways, Andy, I want to thank you for your time. Is there anything else you want to say? How can they follow you on Twitter, Facebook?
They can follow me on Twitter. They can follow me at Andrews L Soto. On Instagram, they can follow me at Andrews Soto. And then I'm on Facebook as well, Andrew Soto there. And Knockout Boxing Club has its own fan page as well. It's a non-profit organization. You know, anything helps. Everything, all the money goes to the gym and to the kids for travel expenses and equipment and stuff like that. So.
Excellent. And then also, before I forget, I know I talked to you before about possibly we were doing a benefit tournament or a tournament for Alexis. So hopefully that'll be down the road there. We've got everyone's really pretty busy right now, and he's got the Olympics and everything coming up. But I'm pretty sure that'll come down one day, and that's going to be I got a feeling that's going to be turned into just a traditional tournament that's going to be one day, probably in our lifetime, be considered like Jean Lewis. So it's just going to be it's going to be a stellar event when that happens. But anyways, thanks for joining. And if you have any questions, once again, check out Andy's Facebook page and Knockout Boxing Gym and him on Twitter and everything. If you got any questions, or if you want to come down and train, give him a call. There's plenty of room here. There's a lot of kids that come down here, and just like all the other gyms in Phoenix or in Arizona, you know, they could all use your support. So anyways, thanks for joining, and we'll catch you next time.